Good point.
Aye, lad. And so... Aye, but... I feel this in my gut.
Say. Still.
I see. In that case... Surely. I need a moment to think.
It is time to cast our votes. We face a difficult decision. Do we surrender the Roselle living in our domain to Hyzant, or do we defy their orders? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
I am sorry.
I am so sorry. I have faith in you.
I'm with you.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen. The way forward is decided. We require Hyzant's protection. Pain.
After retaking Whiteholm Castle, Roland assumes the throne. Joy over the return of the line of Glenbrook sweeps the kingdom. Yet not everyone is quick to welcome Roland back with open arms. Life under as Frosty rule treated them well, and they suspect him to be naught but a figurehead of a puppet regime. Roland's absence, it seems, made room for discord among his subjects to flourish.
There you are, Your Majesty.
Ah, Huet.
Pray, do not sound so dismal. Now that we have retaken Whiteholm Castle, you are Glenbrook's rightful king. We've an entire kingdom to rebuild out of the ruins of war. Patriot and the others have been demanding utmost haste.
I understand that, I do. But... oh, Cordelia. If I should lose you too, I
I know you have suffered many hardships, but pray, do not let yourself succumb to despair. Me, our comrades, your people, all of us are eagerly awaiting the era of peace our new king will bring.
King, eh? My father never once let his emotions overcome him. Not even the day my mother died. I had every intention of following his stoic example, but...
Majesty, I bring word from the infirmary.
Is it Cordelia? Pray tell me she is all right.
She is indeed recovering apace, Your Majesty.
Oh, thank the stars.
It seems she has something to discuss with you all, if you will hear her out.
Of course. Tell her we'll speak in the garden, but only if it will not tax her over much.
Yes, sire.
Huette, fetch Serenoa and the rest. Tell them to come to the garden as soon as they are able.
'Twould be my pleasure.
What is it? You're smiling.
It's only... I thought it would be some time yet before I saw you look so at ease. I'll return shortly with the others.
Cordelia, you've returned to me after so long. But slow and steady is the path to recovery. Yes, there is no rush. So that is what happened in my absence.
Yes. Gustadolf was a clever ruler. After the invasion, Patriot and his royalists cozied up to Esperos in order to protect themselves. Gustadolf used them to his every advantage. He stripped them of their privileges and left them nothing but their governing responsibilities. I don't think Patriot much cared for that, but it did ensure everything continued smoothly, without interrupting the people's lives.
Now I understand why there was little unrest after the occupation began.
A clean, effective takeover by a well-seasoned commander.
But all the while, he was preparing to face the next conflict.
Wait, does he intend to march on Hyzant next?
I believe so. I wish I could be more specific. But the Goddess's shield cannot protect the Holy State's capital from Esfrost. Not anymore. He said it will all be over once the death knell is ready.
What is this death knell?
A new weapon born from the coupling of his frosty ironworking and explosive projectiles. Thalas claimed it is powerful enough to break through the Goddess's shield.
To think Esfrost is capable of creating such a monstrosity.
So much for their reign of peace. Taking over Glenbrook was only the first move in a bigger gambit to seize the source.
I am disturbed to learn of Gustadolf's plan. But rebuilding our capital must take priority.
Very well. We should investigate the extent of the damage and discuss how best to proceed from there. House Wolfort will lend whatever aid you need.
Thank you, Serenoa. But since you are one of their saintly 7 now, I'd ask you to keep an eye on Hyzant as well.
Cordelia? Apologies. A brief spell of dizziness.
I have been looking everywhere for you, Your Highness.
Patriot.
I do not recall giving you leave of the infirmary. Your injuries are still healing. Would you undo all the trouble I went through to get you the best of care? Pray, return to the infirmary at once.
It wouldn't do to push yourself, Cordelia. Rest now. Leave everything to me.
All right.
We got a pretty good understanding of the damage in the capital, my lord. It's a tad more than we were expecting.
I see. Then we must make haste with repairs. Let's report this to Hyzant and see what aid they can give us. Was there anything of note besides damage?
There ain't an easy way of putting this, but not everyone's exactly pleased to hear Prince Roland's returned. Esfrost exempted Glenbrook's subjects from the salt tax. Likely a bid to get in everyone's good graces. And a damn good one at that. But more than that, the so-called freedom Gustadolf brought to the kingdom seems to have made a splash. He threw out the old ways and made it so anyone could better their lot in life depending on their ability, instead of their birthright.
Just as in Esfrost.
Then the people must have looked quite favorably upon Gustadolf's rule.
I wager folks ain't too pleased to see us, since they figure it means things will go back to how they used to be.
Roland surmised as much. We must do something to show the people his is a return worth celebrating.
Anna, have you looked into the state of affairs in the castle?
Yes. The head of the Royalists, Minister Patriat, is extending his influence. He made quite the name for himself, even under Gustadolf. Though he seems eager enough to support King Roland, he was just as eager to serve the Archduke. I do not believe we can trust him.
Distinguished members of House Wolford, how hard you are all working to rebuild our capital. What a delightful thing to see.
Minister, you do us a great honor visiting us out of all the many other responsibilities that must vie for your attention.
Oh, come now, do not think yourself so insignificant. The entire kingdom owes you its thanks, myself included, of course. We are so grateful for House Wolford's aid, even though you now serve a different master.
We are only doing what any of King Roland's loyal vassals would.
Speaking of the king, I'm afraid we've a bit of a problem. His Majesty seems to be entertaining thoughts of retaliating against Esfrost. But the people have had their fill of war, and I'm sure you're already aware the people look upon the royal line with disfavor. I only beg you take every care going forward.
A warning.
Even so, there is naught we can do but focus on rebuilding.
Indeed. Let us return to the king and apprise him of our progress.
I would walk the city with Sheila a bit longer and speak with the people.
As you wish. But this is not the capital you knew. Be careful, my love.
There are more who accepted Esfrost's rule than I imagined.
Glenbrook's history is long. Yet, that is why hierarchy and precedent hold sway. This is a stubborn land, my lady, not given to easy change. Though Archduke Gustadolf, acting in the name of freedom, granted privilege after privilege to the powerful. For people used to Glenbrook's rigid customs, I suppose that sort of change must have been too seductive to resist.
Perhaps, but his freedom was naught but greed and cruelty.
Lady Frederica, I've been searching everywhere for you.
A Wolfort messenger! Did you run all this way? What's happened?
My lady, I hail from Castle Wolfort, bearing tidings of Lord Simon.
Has he awakened?
He has. He is in high spirits and recovering well. and he is most pleased to hear of the capital's recapture. He bids you visit Castle Wolford so he can honor you himself.
Oh, I must bring these glad tidings to Serenoa at once. How long it has been since I've seen him smile.
There is one more bit of news I have for you, my lady, but it is not so happy.
Is there some sort of trouble in the Wolford domain?
Bandits are laying waste to the Rosellan village. To our shame, Castle Wolford does not have enough soldiers to stop this. We would beg Lord Serenoa's wisdom in this matter.
The enemy must be powerful indeed. We cannot leave the Rosellan village defenseless.
Let us inform the others. Messenger, with us.
Well, well. Things are about to get interesting.
A coronation ceremony. Certainly there are more important matters to focus on right now.
A coronation is important to assuage the people's fears and restore their faith, besides which it is the Royalists' most fervent wish. A kingdom is only truly as strong as people believe it to be, and right now the world believes Glenbrook weak. The ceremony will be a display to the contrary.
Is this truly the remedy our situation calls for? Right now, I imagine the people care only for where their next hot meal will come from.
Rest assured, sire, House Wolford will see your subjects shan't go hungry. But trust me when I say nothing will hasten Glenbrook's return to her former glory so much as announcing the return of Regna's rightful heir. To win your subjects' hearts, you need do nothing but ascend to your position upon the throne.
You mean sit my royal backside on a fancy chair?
In a manner of speaking. A king's duty is first and foremost serving as his kingdom's symbol. You needn't trouble yourself with day-to-day governance. We will assume that burden. After all, you have only just been crowned.
There will be no ceremony. The people will tell us what they need, and you will listen to them, Patriot. That is my command.
As you wish, King Roland.
How fare things, Huette? Have the relief supplies been given to those who need it?
Well, we had received a sizable shipment of goods from Hyzant, but there are complaints. It seems very few of those goods have made it into the hands of the people.
And why is that?
We aren't certain, though apparently Patriot and the Royalists involve themselves with the distribution.
Damn those Royalists! They cannot be left to their own devices.
House Wolford and Minister Exham's forces have reclaimed the Crown City. And not only that, they have dealt a heavy blow to the Esfrosti forces in killing Thalys and other commanding officers.
We couldn't have hoped for a better outcome.
Oh, to see Gustadolf's face when he hears the news. Now he'll have no choice but to come crawling to us on hands and knees, begging for salt. Though, this could be our chance to crush the duchy once and for all.
Just because they're licking their wounds does not make them easy prey. They still have their iron, after all.
Ha! Iron. We can get iron. All we need do is make Glenbrook hand over the Grand Norzellian mines to us. A paltry price to pay for our bountiful aid in their restoration of the Crown City.
The Grand Norzellian mines. The spark that lit the flame of Esfrost's aggression. But why go through the trouble to seize an iron source when they have all the iron they could ever need? I should have Milo look into the matter.
Minister Idor?
Well, regardless, we control the salt. I say we bide our time until Esfrost admits they are defeated. Besides, Glenbrook seeks our aid in their reconstruction efforts, do they not?
Yes. King Roland and Minister Serenoa have both asked for help, and sent reports detailing the extent of the damage to the Crown City.
Send forth a veritable bounty. To Minister Serenoa of the Saintly Seven, that is.
Ah, yes. A show of the goddess's grace to the people, and as a wedge to drive between him and the king.
Esfrost, Glenbrook, they will both be ours before long.
Thank you all for helping to determine the extent of the damage to the capital. This information will be invaluable as we proceed with reconstruction. There is also happy word from Castle Wolfort. My Lord Father is awake. They say he is recovering apace and is already up and walking.
Those are glad tidings indeed.
He says he would like to see us and hear of all that has passed while he was taken ill.
Then what are we waiting for? I'll saddle the horses.
Would that we could depart at once, but the messenger brought another piece of news.
Bandits plague the outskirts of the Rosellan village.
Jerome and his folk are there. They can handle a few mangy thieves, surely.
Not according to the messenger. The bandits are proving a formidable foe.
Which is why they have asked us for aid.
Apologies for my tardiness. It's sudden, I know, but I must ask you a favor.
What is it?
I suspect Patriot and his royalists of filching relief supplies.
We've no proof it's them, but the fact remains. The people in most need of those goods are not receiving them.
The matter warrants investigating at the very least, and I would ask for Wolfort's assistance.
I see. Well, we were just discussing what we ought to do next. Allow me to explain the 3 courses of action before us. 1. Return to Castle Wolfort as my Lord Father requests. 2. Defend the Rosellan village from bandits. Or 3. Remain in the capital to investigate the royalists.
Lord Simon has recovered. What splendid news. If I could only go to him myself and thank him for all House Wolfort has done. But I cannot leave the capital in the throes of a possible scandal. Too many hold the royal family in contempt as it is.
That may be the case, but now that Lord Simon has awoken, someone must make sure he is healthy and apprise him of recent events. I would go to Castle Wolfort, Lord Serenoa, if it pleases you.
My heart breaks for the Rosellan village. Let me go to its defense, even if I must go alone.
I cannot allow that. It's far too dangerous a task for one person.
Well, I would have the Wolfort soldiers with me, of course. Besides, do you recall our first meeting?
Of course I do. You were being assailed by rogues at the port.
If you hadn't been there, who knows what would have become of me. But I am not as weak now as I was then. I am stronger, enough that I shall bring no dishonor to House Wolfort's name. My lord, have faith in me. Let me do this.
Very well.
It seems best that Benedict, Frederica, and I each attend to these pressing matters, separately.
Indeed, but the rest of us cannot be in 3 places at once. We can only choose one path to take. Bring the scales of conviction.
Lord Saranoa. Certainly. I need time.
Listen, lad. You're onto something.
Good point. Okay.
It is time to cast our votes. We have 3 options before us. Return to the Wolfort domain, depart to the Rosellan village, or stay in the capital. Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
You have my vote.
Please forgive me.
Just can't see it your way.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen. The way forward is decided. We march to the Rosellan village and drive the bandits from the surrounding woods. I shall accompany Frederica to defend the Rosellan village. I know not what the bandits are after, but I cannot allow them to run rampant over the land.
Thank you, Saranoa. I am heartened to have you by my side.
Very well. Fulfill your duty to your domain. I shall see to things in the capital.
Then I shall venture to the Wolfort domain and make our report to Lord Simon in your stead.
And this is farewell for now. King Roland, Benedict, until our reunion in the capital.
The scouts confirm the rumors. The Rosellan village really is deserted.
Can't believe the Wolforts actually handed him over to Hyzant. Those heartless bastards!
Well, now the village is ours for the searching. We can take our time finding that treasure.
Don't tell me you actually believe there's treasure there, Pa. It matches the book, but still.
Of course I believe it. That book came from the archives themselves. No doubt we're gonna find something incredible there. Then we can wash our hands of this whole business.
You mean, give up thieving? That's crazy talk, Pa. Whatever happened to your pride as a bandit? Loot's just a measure to even greater treasure. Ain't that what you always say?
It used to be, but Norzelia's changing. There's fighting wherever you look, and we shouldn't be taking risks we don't have to. Do you understand, Trish?
I understand, all right. You're nothing but a coward, Pa. I don't care if you give up. I'll become an even greater bandit all on my own.
Fine. Have it your way then, you fool.
I don't need your permission.
Boss, are you really gonna let her walk away like that?
I'd tell her she reminds me of someone, but I doubt she'd listen. First, we gotta find that treasure. Let's make for the Rosellan village.
The members of House Wolffort, having earned momentary respite after reclaiming the capital, decide to go their own ways. Roland remains in the capital to deal with his political opponents. Benedict returns to Castle Wolffort to visit the ailing Lord Simon. And Serenoa and Frederica, hearing reports of thieves in the deserted Rosellan village, head over to investigate.
It appears the bandits have yet to pillage this place.
Let's look around, just to be sure.
There's no one here.
No, there's not.
We took everything from the Roselle. The peace they had is gone. Not even the scent of food or the laughter of children remains. There's nothing left. Coming back here, it has reminded me of the terrible wrong we have done.
My lord, I've spotted the bandits. Looks like Travis and his crew.
I'll make my way over. Let the others know.
You won't lay a hand on this village. This is the Wolfort domain, and we do not look kindly upon bandits.
Not you guys again!
The feeling is mutual.
Come to arrest us, have you? Or maybe...
Did you come to snatch up the treasure before we could?
No way. They couldn't have the same book as we do, could they?
Shut up, you nitwits! We can't have them finding out about our latest steal from the archives!
Treasure? The archives?
And people say my voice carries. Once we get our hands on you, you're gonna tell us everything you know.
Well, now that you know, we can't very well let you live!
Once we've captured you and your crew, you will tell us why you've come here.
A little whelp like you catching us? We wouldn't be very good thieves if it were that easy.
Cool heads shall prevail. Make the most of this.
Much appreciated.
One step closer to our hope. I will end this. Into the shadows.
The hunt is on! From this range.
My turn.
Back at you.
Come at me! To victory! No need to panic. There. I'm only getting started.
Curses! I'll make this quick. Time for some research.
I fight for peace. Blade, heed my call for a better world. The heavens judge you. The heavens cry. The heavens bless me.
At your command. On guard! Give me strength.
Let me heal your wounds. Your wounds are
This will help.
Victory is in reach. You will sound strike.
My turn. This one'll hurt.
We can resolve this peacefully. You need only tell us about the treasure.
How mighty kind of you. But I still won't let you lay a single finger on our treasure.
The hunt is on. From this range.
Impressed? Now I end this. For my kith and kin. Time for some research. To further the arcane arts.
Come at me!
me show you what I've learned. Flames, heed my call!
This is barely a scratch! No way am I giving up now!
I admire your tenacity. I take it the treasure here is well worth the effort.
The heavens judge you!
You have my thanks.
New power overflows within me.
You've done it now!
Now then. It's nothing personal. I'm only getting started.
My time has come.
Out of my way!
My work bears fruit.
Cool heads shall prevail. Be at ease.
This will help.
Your orders?
I am at your back!
This is
I am at your back!
I feel stronger already.
My work bears fruit.
I got careless. I've had enough of you!
The hunt is on. You'll get no mercy from us. I will fight to my last breath.
Models were off.
I see through you.
That all you got? Now or never. Look at me learning.
Allow me. I've got you marked. I won't let you down.
I shall do what I can. Be at ease.
My thanks.
One step closer to our hope.
Let me show you what I've learned. For a better world. The heavens judge you. The heavens reign. New power overflows within me.
Curses! Death from above!
Die! Curse you! Come on! I could do this all day.
Just give up already, else I'll have to take your head.
Sorry, but I won't be having either. I ain't even found the treasure yet.
But why go to such lengths for it?
For my girl, Trish.
You mean the young lady who was with you before?
She was forced to live a bandit's life because of me. Sure, we had our share of fun trashing things, but I never noticed till now that she never had a place to call home. That's why I'm getting all the treasure I can lay my hands on. I'm gonna make her a safe place to lay her head at night.
Pretty selfish of you, if you ask me.
You think I don't know that? I know it's selfish, but still, I can't give it up.
Then let's make a deal.
What sort of deal?
We shall pardon you and your kin and allow you to work in the Wolfort domain. But in exchange, would you serve House Wolfort? I would like you to help us find the treasure in this village.
Frederica.
I apologize for deciding this on my own. But if there is treasure to be found here, it may help the Rosellan.
Depending on what we find, it might allow us to aid the Roselle or negotiate with Hysand.
And this guy could help us in a fight. Pity he wasted his strength on pillaging, though.
I understand your wishes, Frederica. What say you, Travis?
You want to help the Roselle? Aren't you the ones who turned him over in the first place?
Yes, I know it is selfish, but I too cannot give up.
You got me there. I'll do whatever you ask if you pardon my daughter and crew. And you have my word that every last one of them will quit the thieving business.
You can't be serious, Pa! Did you really think I'd just accept you devoting yourself to Wolfort for me?
So you heard everything, huh? Then you understand.
Understand what? Wasn't it your dream to become the best thief in Norzelia?
It was, but that time's come and gone. After I became a father, I only dreamed of you living a normal life.
And what about my dreams, huh? I don't want to have to worry about where I came from or how much money I've got. I just want to be free. I want it to be just like you, Pa.
I'm sorry. I was selfish, Trish.
I don't want to hear it, you old fool.
You aren't gonna go after her?
No. She'll understand one day. She's a downright fool, but a good daughter. Now then, let's find us some treasure.
So this book is gonna help us find the treasure.
That's right. We found it stuffed into the deepest, darkest recesses of the S. Frosty archives. My thieving senses tell me it'll lead us to incredible treasure.
Frost's most confidential information is stored in the archives. There is definitely something of import in there.
Never thought I'd say this, but good steal.
It wasn't easy, but I had to, for Trish. Sadly, it's locked up tight, and trust me, won't be forcing that thing open.
I see. It's sealed with powerful magic.
Would we need another spell to counter the seal?
There's probably a key that can open it.
I suspected as much. It's probably somewhere in this village.
What makes you say that?
Take a good look at the cover and you'll see a map of Norzelia.
Indeed, there is. If this is the Norzelia River, then this must be the Wolfort Domain.
In which case, those jewels are right on...
This village.
Exactly. We came here because we thought we'd find a way to open it.
Are you sure it's not just coincidence?
It could be, but if it isn't...
Then the key is in this village. And the treasure in this book must be related to the Roselle.
Then let's search the village. Could I ask you to use your thieving senses to help us look, Travis?
Of course you can. It's what bandits like me do best.
To think we would find such a thing while searching for a key.
I had a taste, and it's salt for sure. So what kind of rock is this?
I do not know. It looks to be a crystal of salt. Or salt crystal, shall we call it?
Even if you condense the salt from the source, it would not take this shape. It must have come from a different place entirely.
Hold it. You mean to say there's salt outside of the source? If that were true, it'd change Norzelia as we know it.
I wonder if the Roselle knew.
I see. That may be why Hyzant imprisoned them at the source. They did it to keep their monopoly on salt.
But what was a book showing its whereabouts doing in Esfrost?
There is someone connecting all three. Esfrost, Hyzant, and the Roselle. My mother, Orlea.
The leader of the Rosellan uprising. She escaped the source and founded this village.
After that, she met the previous Archduke and gave birth to me. Could the key to opening this book be my mother's pendant?
It opened!
So this was my mother's book.
Pray, read it for us, Frederica.
This is a legend handed down by the Roselles since times of old. It is the secret history of Norzelia. I, Orlea Roselle, am recording the legend here as the last keeper of these histories.
In ancient times, the Roselle lived in Centralia, a land to the distant south of Norzelia. It sat on the shore of the sea, a source that extended to the horizon and beyond. It was said to be a paradise, a place where people never wanted for salt. The Roselle knew more about salt than anyone, for it was a part of their everyday lives. In those days, Norzelia still rested at the bottom of the sea, but a cataclysm brought it to the surface, turning it into land. The sea dried up, and the small portion that remained is what we know today as the source. Eventually, many people migrated to the new land of Norzelia. They waged war over the source, wishing to get their hands on its precious salt. Our ancestors came to Norzelia in hopes of putting an end to the fighting. They knew that the salt still remained, even without the sea. It merely crystallized and sank deep into the earth. After all their searching, they unearthed a giant crystal. No, a very pillar of salt. They showed it to the people of Norzelia, told them that salt could be found beneath their very feet. However, those who had seized control over the source sought to reign over all of Norzelia by controlling the salt. They, the holy state of Hyzant, attacked and slaughtered the Roselle. They hid the pillar, erased the existence of salt crystals, and imprisoned the surviving Roselle at the source. Thus we were branded sinners, criminals who wanted sole dominion over the land's salt. To justify their own monopoly, Hyzant created the goddess's teachings, but she needed a villain. To this very day, the Roselle are scorned, made to shed blood and tears, all in her name. But the goddess herself is proof of the Rosellan legends. I saw it with my own eyes during the uprising. Inside of her statue is the pillar of salt that was taken from our ancestors. But I could not expose the truth of the goddess. It took everything I had just to get a fragment. But that piece is the key to freeing the Roselle. It must be. For my brethren who continue to suffer for a crime they did not commit.
The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessing spread across all Norzelia. The blessing of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
Jerome spoke these words before. Lady Orlear's words.
Yes. The blessing my mother spoke of was the salt crystal.
And the false teachings referred to salt existing outside the source. It would be the key to ending Hyzant's monopoly on salt. This has the power to change Norzelia as we know it, but it is not something we can recklessly proclaim.
But I cannot forgive Hyzant. They rewrote history with their false doctrines and continue to oppress the Roselle, all to maintain their power over salt. Serenoa, do you think we could free the Roselle with this information?
We would need conclusive evidence. Right now, all we have is a salt crystal. We would not be able to prove that more salt lies beneath the earth, or even the truth of the goddess's statue.
I don't care how much time it takes. Can we not find out the truth?
House Wolford is currently under the banner of Hyzant. We may be branded as rebels if the Holy State deems our actions as defiance of the goddess.
I know it is a reckless request, but my mother has given us a chance with this book. I cannot simply let it pass me by.
I understand how you feel, and the responsibility of House Wolford to the Roselle. Please give me some time to think, Frederica.
Of course. I believe in House Wolford. And in you, Serenoa.
I should like to speak to Benedict and Roland about the book as well. Let us return to the capital.
Roland, Benedict, and Frederica regroup back in the capital. But what they experienced while they were away could very well alter the course of destiny itself.
What is so important you wish to speak to me alone?
Lord Serenoa, promise me you will remain calm. I come bearing grave news. Your Lord Father has passed.
What? But how? I thought he was recovering.
It was not the illness that took him, my lord. He was assassinated.
Assassinated?
Forgive me. I was unable to stop the villain.
Who would send someone to kill my father? And why?
It was Patriot of the Royalists. He believes House Wolford a hindrance to King Roland's rule. No doubt he meant to kill both you and your father in one fell swoop.
A hindrance? Pray tell me Roland was not involved in this plot.
I can assure you His Majesty knew nothing of this. But disclosing the truth would put us in a precarious position. At worst, it could lead to civil war. It is best you hide the fact of Lord Simon's assassination.
You want me to say he succumbed to his illness? How can I pay respect to my father with such lies on my lips?
My lord, your father entrusted me with one final order.
What did he say?
He asked me to tell you the truth.
The truth about what?
I ask you to listen calmly, my lord. You are not Lord Simon's son by blood. Your true father is King Regna. His Majesty sired a child out of wedlock with the Lady Destra. That child is you.
What?
Lady Destra lived in the Crown City, but she was not a woman of means. Someone of her position could never hope to marry a king. Or indeed keep her head once the Royalists discovered what had happened. Lord Simon knew this, and so he welcomed her and the baby in her belly to House Wolford. He and I were the only two who knew her secret. We had intended to carry it with us to our graves. But in his last moment, Lord Simon bade me give this to you.
The royal signet of Glenbrook.
King Regna entrusted it, and you, to Lord Simon, as proof of your place in the royal line.
Is this truly who I am?
I know it may be difficult to accept.
No, I believe it. I have never known you to speak false to me. Thank you for telling me what my father wished me to know.
You would still call him father?
He raised me as his own. And besides, I must keep up the pretense in front of the others. Especially in front of Roland. This stays between us, Benedict. We must keep the truth of my parentage and this ring safe.
Of course, my lord, as you command.
Is there something on your mind, Roland?
Serenoa, I do not know what I should do.
Did something happen in the capital?
No, that problem has been dealt with. I've made sure those damned royalists will never cause trouble again.
Was such harsh punishment truly necessary?
Of course it was. When they should have been helping to rebuild the kingdom, they instead profited off the people's hardship. And on top of that, they sought to string me up as their puppet king.
I understand, but...
You know what they told me? They said that is what Glenbrook truly is. That it must be ruled with the royalists' careful mediation between the royal family and their loyal subjects. They said good kings need not think for themselves. They said my father and my brother understood that.
Even if that is true, you have the power to change it.
I tried. That is the entire reason I took the throne. But nothing has changed, no matter how many corrupt aristocrats I've cast out. This kingdom has always been broken. As Frost's invasion just ensured we could never put the pieces back together. I do not have the strength to reconcile a land and people torn apart by hatred and greed. I cannot give Glenbrook what it needs, king though I may be.
Roland.
Apologies, my friend. I should not burden you with my woes.
You burden me with nothing. But if you are struggling...
All is well. Trust me. So long as you are by my side.
That is the extent of what happened during our various endeavors. The passing of my Lord Father, the Royalist scandal, and the book that revealed the truth about the Roselle and the Salt. It is time we consider what we shall do to overcome these obstacles facing us.
I still cannot believe how quickly Lord Simon's condition worsened.
It is most devastating. Serenoa, did your father say nothing else to you? Before he...
He bade me lead House Wolfort well.
I see. And we must all do what we can to help you honor that request.
Your Majesty, what do you plan to do about the royalists who misappropriated supplies?
As far as I've been able to discern, those involved acted out of greed and self-interest. They must all be punished. Nothing less than exile from the kingdom or execution will suffice.
But there are those among them who support the Glenbrook line. Will that not impact your governance?
Perhaps. But to pardon their crimes would kindle the people's ire. We must make an example of them. To appease the people. To make clear the consequences of engaging in such foolhardy behavior.
Did something else happen in the capital, King Roland?
Nothing you need concern yourself with. But I must say, I was shocked to learn of that Rosellan legend. Do you suppose the contents of that book could be true?
The part about their homeland, Centralia, that sits upon a vast saltwater sea? That of the untapped salt crystals beneath Norzelia? Or that, in order to monopolize the salt trade, Hyzant fabricated the Roselle's sins? That the pillar of salt Hyzant stole from the Roselle is hidden within the statue of the goddess? If any of it is true, it would turn everything we know on its head. It would mean the teachings of the Holy State are not but lies.
If you still doubt whether it is true, perhaps it will be quicker if I showed you.
A pink rock? No.
A salt crystal. I found it hidden in the Rosellan village. It is a fragment from the pillar within the statue of the goddess. One my mother obtained during the uprising.
It fits perfectly.
Apparently, Lady Orlea penned the book detailing the legend for Frederica.
She did. She enchanted it so no one could open it, but left me the key to break the spell. This pendant.
I doubt a mother would go to such lengths to lie to her daughter.
Then we agree the legend contains at least a seed of truth.
Your Majesty, we have received word that the survivors of the Duchy's army are amassing.
What? Where?
At the Grand Norzellian mines. But we cannot be sure what they are doing. None of our scouts have returned.
Those frosty dogs. We will speak later, Serenoa. First, we must put down whatever the Duchy is planning at the mines. I need you and your people beside me.
Of course. We shall ready ourselves for the battle at once.
Extraction is nearly finished. We've secured the amount we were told. Seems such a waste to just leave the rest.
Don't think Archduke Gustadolf gives two shites. Hurry it up. We need to be done here before Glenbrook catches on to us.
Sir.